Micron is officially filing for federal funds to help make its projects in Idaho and here in Clay a reality. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the news at 11. I'm Laura Lagarde. Lawmakers say Micron would still be building overseas if the funds weren't available under the CHIPS and Science Act. Funds that will now be added to billions in local and state incentives offered to the company. Skeptics of the Micron project are continuing to scrutinize all those taxpayer dollars flowing into the tech giant's pockets. So tonight, our I-team is looking into the details. What exactly have your representatives offered Micron, and what do we expect to get in return? Investigative reporter Connor White brings us details tonight.
At this year's Great New York State Fair, there were rides, games, and a multi-billion-dollar chip manufacturing company doing public relations.
We've got our products here. We've got what exactly advanced manufacturing is all about.
Micron reps spent the opening day of the fair taking questions and sharing info, the same as they've done at recent town halls, looking to sell the idea that not only are they coming, they're here to stay.
We are really excited about introducing Micron to the community.
Micron officials have publicly shown love to Central New York since last October, but there's also a lot of money involved in their arrival. New York State alone is providing $5.5 billion in direct incentives to bring Micron here.
It's overwhelmingly political in motivation.
Jacob Witten is a research analyst with Good Jobs First, a nonprofit tracking state incentives. They've noted a massive increase in states offering what they call mega deals, subsidy packages that total over $50 million. New York State's Micron offer is the second largest mega deal they have on record.
The research on this is very consistent. Overwhelming majority of companies that receive state and local incentives would have made the same choice about where to invest, regardless of whether or not they had received the incentive.
In this case, Witten is pointing to what we've heard from Micron since the October announcement.
So we are very excited to be part of this community.
The CEO says they were attracted to Clay based on the local workforce, higher education, and access to water and power at the unique shovel-ready site called White Pine. Reporting from the Detroit News shows Michigan officials believe they couldn't compete with White Pine, despite offering billions in their own package deal.
It definitely should make us skeptical.
There's also questions surrounding New York State's decisions historically when it comes to incentives. In 2021, the state comptroller found that the Empire State Development Agency failed to fully evaluate the return on investment of nearly $2 billion worth of projects. However, an NESD spokesperson tells us they have improved tracking metrics since then, and pointed out that for Micron to receive any of the money made available by the state, the company needs to continuously hit certain benchmarks.
To the skeptics, I would say, I understand why you're skeptical, but we can't turn this opportunity away.
Marty Masterpole is the comptroller locally for Onondaga County. He doesn't control decisions here, but has kept a close eye on what county government is offering, with OSIDA currently negotiating a pay in lieu of taxes agreement with Micron to the tune of around $284 million that would theoretically lock the company in for 49 years.
There's going to be costs. The county knows it. The infrastructure costs, both sewer, water, all the above. But that's the cost of doing business, too.
He says in his experience, he's never seen a company like Micron begin to invest the way that it has. With a permanent exhibit at the most, STEM education investments, and a land purchase to establish a child care facility for future employees.
Our charitable contributions that we have already given into the community are very important to us.
Micron has also continued to say that the $5.5 billion from the state is critical to the life of the project. So far, recent documents obtained by the I-team, as well as physical movement in Clay, suggest that the first two fabs are a sure thing. Negotiations will continue surrounding the rest of the 20-year project and whether all four fabs will eventually arrive.
Governor Kathy Hochul recently signed a new bill that would strengthen red flag laws across the state, which would make it harder for high-risk individuals to buy or own a gun. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the news at 6. I'm Laura Lagarde. Our Dale Ostrander is at the New York State Fairgrounds, where one of the state's largest gun shows was held today at the Center of Progress building. And Dale, a gun owner has already told you that the process of buying a gun has changed.
Yeah, Laura, that's right. One gun owner has told me that the process has become a little longer. When it comes to buying a gun across New York State, about half of the process is still the same, says New York Arms Collection Association Director Mark Loveland.
They show proof of who they are, and they sit down and start filling out the proper forms that they may need for the background check.
As of September, New York will take over from where the federal government would usually step in.
The dealer will then submit the check now to New York State, and they will get a proceed or a delay in order for the person to be able to take the gun today, or if they get delayed, they may have to wait a little bit of time.
The bill that Governor Hochul signed will now eliminate an index number fee that comes with applications for an Extreme Risk Protection Order, or ERPO, essentially making it easier for anybody to file an ERPO against someone they think is too dangerous to be in possession of a gun. When taking that information to Loveland, he shared positive news about what they have seen when it comes to who is trying to buy guns at the show.
People are frustrated with the change because they didn't believe that the system was broken prior to. They would just be able to do the check right through the federal government. They would get a response, and it was fine.
Now, Governor Hochul says this piece of legislation will enable New Yorkers to make a more straightforward process when it comes to making sure that they have better protective care of each other and preventing harm from people in the way as well.